Hi guys, welcome to our podcast. I'm here with my babes, students from the Behavioral Science program. And so, ayun, papakilala ko sila isa-isa.
I am Babes Valerie. I am Babes Ashley.
Multimedia Arts, pero nag-aaral ng Behavioral Science.
And yours truly from Political Science, Silas. So we're here today because we would like to talk about the voting behavior of young individuals. And with that, of course, topics will arise such as what are the political strategies that na parang effective sa mga kabataan ngayon. And before everything, we would like to show you kasi pumunta kami nag-interview. Most likely, mga students din sila dito sa University of the Cordilleras. And first, let's look at the video. Transition. So miss, sino pala binoto mo nung last election?
National ba?
Oo.
I voted for Marcos Jr.
Bakit, ma'am?
I was actually forced since I followed the preferences of my parents and then they forced me to vote for this president.
So, ayun guys, nakita nyo naman sa interview mismo na parang na-influensyahan siya ng kanyang mga parents para iboto ang isang kandidato. And anong masabi niyo doon from your experience or from your learnings sa behavioral science? Bakit nga ba effective or bakit nga ba malakas ang influence ng mga parents sa voting behavior ng mga kabataan?
When it comes to in line with behavioral science, let's look at attachment styles of the person. Kunwari yung attachment style ng nag-vote is secured. So meaning, parang mahihila yung decisions niya kasi parang secured nga siya yung relationship niya sa family niya. Mostly na magiging decisions niya is i-meet niya yung mga expectation ng family.
So, ayan, may expectations, meaning yung mga kabataan, di ba? We like to makuha yung expectations ng ating mga parents. So, ano ba?
Mostly kasi kapag parents will nagdidikta. Same schools to nung first time ko mag-vote for barangay elections is that I don't know who's the candidate. So, mas kilala ng magulang ko kung sino ba yung iboboto or kung sino ba dapat iboto. Kasi minsan kasi kapag first timers, wala na lang. And then, hindi ako nakapag-research ganito, ganyan. Then, sino bang iboboto ko? Sino bang iboboto ko? Mostly sa parents natin tinatanong mga ganyan natin.
So, oo nga naman, di ba? When you're a first-time voter, hindi ka ganun kaalam sa mga kandidato. And of course, it's your first time to engage in such important engagement. Kaya parang hindi mo pa alam kung anong gagawin mo. Which is why siguro younger voters tend to rely sa knowledge ng kanilang parents since yun nga, meron silang experience. And meron pa ba? Sige.
To add dun sa sinabi ni Ashley kanina na attachment style ng isang bata, I think yung culture din as a Filipino, hindi, not the masunurin. Diba, like the Filipinos are known to be collectivist.
Parang kung ano yung boto ng
Isa.
isa, boto na ng lahat.
Kasi parang sa tingin mo na once na iisa lang yung decision nyo, you are having a harmonious relationship with
Wow.
with each other. So, ganun din sa family. Like, if magkakasundo kayo sa isang decision, yun na yung perception mo na parang, yun yung perception mo na strong yung relationship nyo as a family kasi, yun nga, nagkasundo kayo sa isang decision.
Sabagay nakikita ko rin din kapag barangay elections. Kasi parang ito yung kandidato ng isang parte ng barangay, ito yung kandidato. And then yung isang parte ng barangay, ito yung may kandidato. Ito yung kandidato may buboto nila. Which is weird for me kasi meron na namang perang nakalaan doon. And it's so ingrained in our culture talaga.
Yung the way yun nga, we decide collectively as a group, isa din sa mga characteristics ng mga Pilipino, kung ano yung kung ano yung boto ng isa, yun na din, one for all or all for one. Sa simpleng pagkain mo yung anong kakainin mo, tapos pag di-decide siya, tapos sige, yun na din. So, well, the same could go sa pagboto. So, with that, we go to the next clip. Cut. So, sir, so sino binoto niyo nung previous election?
For president, I voted for Nathan Red.
Bakit, sir?
I'm from Region 3, so mostly yung mga tao government talaga and nakikita ko yung mga projects in place ng mga siya.
So, more on sa ano siya, sir? Binoto niyo siya dahil sa same reason.
Yes, and also so I want to see a new change.
So, sir, sino pa na binoto na yung previous election?
Sa president, dito ko si Marcos Jr. Ferdinand.
Bakit?
Karamihan sa amin yun ang sumunod saka wala pa ako masyadong malaki ng pagbutin. Kaya nung pumasok ako, ay yun lang sa ako masyadong malaki mo sa kaya kayo gusto na pinutukan lang siya.
Thank you, sir. So, ayun, we also found out na isa sa mga factors bakit binoboto ng young voters ng mga politikong ito is kasi ka-region nila, or if not, yun yung binoboto ng karamihan. So, again, the same question kanina, paano natin may explain bakit nga ba ito napaka-effective sa mga young voters?
Yung iba naman sa inyong politics.
Same naman kasi ito sa family rin. Parang, uy, ka-distrito ko sa lugar na to. Uy, parang proud ako ko siya. Kunwari, isa lang yung kandidato ng distrito mo. Tapos, ang dami sa ibang lugar. Parang meron kang urge na may parang pagka-pride ka na parang kapitbahay mo siya, yun yung iboboto ko kasi ganun lang. And it's also ingrained in the culture. Same with the family one. Same na rin to kasi dun sa pamilya na kapag pamilya ko, pamag-anak ko, siya dapat yung iboboto. Parang ganun na rin kasi yun.
So, yun, parang, meron kang pride na, kunwari, kababata ko siya, tumakbo siya bilang isang presidente. Of course, meron yung pride na, uy, kababata ko yan. Yan na, iboboto mo siya. It would cost you to vote for her. And, yun nga, yung pride talaga mismo. Kaya, tignan niyo si Manny Pacquiao, pumunta siya sa ibang bansa, nakiboxing-boxing siya doon. Diba, we have the pride na, uy, Pilipino yan.
Uy, Philippines!
So, same with, sa politics, you have the certain pride na you know that person, you're related to that person, you're you're socially affiliated with that person, and that gives you a sense of pride, which I guess it also parang na-encourage yung mga young voters to vote for that certain politician. So, aside from that, meron pa ba?
Di ba meron din yung kaya bino-vote yung isang tao sa isang place nila kasi they have this understanding na pagka nanalo yung candidate na galing sa lugar nila is they will help them. Parang
may benefits.
Oo, parang may benefits. Parang alam mo yung special treatment.
Yes.
Siyempre, di ba, sa culture din natin na gano'n na once nakakilala mo, parang
may balato.
Oo. Ayun.
Balato. Well, pwede natin siyang ma-relate dun sa patronage politics na minimension niya kanina, pero yun nga, it's patronage politics na in exchange of your vote, you would gain something. Pag nanalo ka, or pag nanalo ako as a politician, you would gain something from yung pagkapanalo mo. And that's patronage politics, which yun nga, minsan di natin napapansin, pero most of politicians does that. And hindi nila napapansin, either alam nila or hindi, they're practicing that kind of political strategy or campaign. So, kung wala na kayong may dadagdag, punta tayo sa next nating video. So, sir, sino binoto niyo ang class of exam?
Ang binoto ko is Daniel Brett.
Bakit, sir?
For women economy, also for women governance.
So, ano sa mga campaign strategy na bakit sa'yo para
social media engagement is one kasi hindi naman ako lumalabas and hindi siya umikot sa akin kasi taga-North ako. So, more like engage ako with social media and doon tapos nakilala mo.
Thank you, sir. So, sir, sinong binoto niyo ng previous election?
Presidential election. Si Roberto Gonzales.
Bakit si Roberto Gonzales?
Mukhang ayaw niya sa movies. So, parang parehas ka na right niya sa ayaw niya sa movies.
Ano yung campaign strategy na umakit sa'yo?
More on ideologically focused siya. So, focus niya is license fair.
You vote for during the past election?
During the 2022 elections, the one that I voted for is Ms. Lenny Robredo.
Why did you vote her?
Actually, out of all the candidates, I just felt like she is the one that really wants to change the Philippines. Not just like the change that the former president wants, but like as in change a lot of things here in our country.
What part of her campaign influenced you to vote her?
Not just for her goals or yung gusto niya na magkaroon ng good governance and transparency yung Pilipinas, pero marami siyang mga kagustuhan na sa tingin ko ay talaga makakatulong sa bansa natin, tulad ng pagtulong sa enterprises or sa mga negosyo dito sa Pilipinas.
Who did you vote for during the past election?
Si Lenny Robredo.
Bakit?
Siya lang kasi yung may tuturing na presidential bet na may pake sa mga issue ng bansa. Sinusuportahan niya rin yung foreign direct investment.
What part of his or her campaign influenced you to vote for her?
Ang pinaka nagustuhan ko kay Lenny Robredo is, normal lang ang tumiligsa sa mga kalaban niya. Kasi yung pananalig sa kanya kasi based na kapag sila. Yung mga sa mga kaya. So, yung masama is, tapos sa exam, but then also it's a national security book. Also yung transparency ng mga pera ng mga
Who did you vote for during the past election? Why?
Because of her non-firm and his past action.
What part of her campaign influenced you to vote for her?
Weirdly, the promotion for agriculture and the protection of human rights.
Who did you vote for during the past election?
Lenny Robredo was becoming in the past election.
Why?
Because she was a strong advocate and she was a strong sensible leader.
What part of her campaign influenced you to vote for her?
Her campaign for human rights and for women and gender violence.
So ayun na guys, nag-start na siyang umulan. And as we can see from the video, parang makikita din natin, we can conclude from those videos na isa din sa mga nag-motivate sa mga kabataan para i-vote yung mga politicians is through their platforms, their various platforms. We have the feminist platform, we have the economist platform, the anti-poverty platform. We have different kinds of platform which parang nakaka-relate siguro yung mga young voters sa mga platforms na to. And siguro mas may explain ito bakit siya effective ng aking mga kasama.
Okay, mostly platforms is a great way to see kung effective ba yung leader natin na mag-lead. Kasi it's their plan for their term. And hindi naman sa lahat ng platform ay umpisahan or na tatapos. But it's a great start for voters to see kung ano ba yung talagang plano ng politikong ito. And mostly yun nowadays, talagang platforms na hindi na yung political families like we saw on the last presidential elections nga. And I think hindi lang naman sa bansa natin, pati na rin dun sa rest of the world is that talagang naghihirap na mga kabataan yun. Low yung kanila, yung employment, kung meron naman silang employment, low yung income. Dati, we can just afford a house and a lot for just a cheap price. But nowadays, hindi na natin kayang bilhin yung essential needs natin na talaga, essential needs natin. Parang doon sa hierarchy of needs, parang hirap na tayong tubusin yung parang hirap na tayong what's the word?
Yung baseline.
Oo, parang hirap na tayong parang bumili ng pagkain tapos tubig ganun kasi sa mahal ng mga presyo. And isa pang factor dyan is yung economy natin is that inflation is just rising every year. Then in-screw over pa tayo ng mga big companies. And I think magandang platform ng mga politika na tinitignan ng mga kabataan ngayon. Kasi tayo na talaga yung nahihirapan. Tayo na talaga yung pag-asa ng bayan na sabi nga nila sa
Yeah, I agree with you that yung mga young adult, yung mga youth ngayon is they base their vote on the platform ng candidate. Diba dati, based siya sa influence, names, or yung mga past jobs nila, artists, ganon. Basta kilala sila or mga pangmasa, yun ang i-vote ng mga people. But right now, I've read somewhere an article na youth today are meant to be more politically engaged and individualistic on their votes and vote preferences. Tapos yun nga, ang last election, ang tinitignan ng mga youth or yung mga parang pinopromote ng mga youth is yung mga platforms ng mga politicians na tatakbo for the elections. So yeah, I agree with you. Since syempre nakita talaga nila kung gaano kahirap yung buhay ngayon. Tapos mahirap na yung buhay ko, tapos basura pa yung governance. So parang wala nang mangyayari talaga sa'yo. Like 50-50 ang life here.
So to add on that, I think the platforms of the political candidates are effective kasi the youths expect it na ito yung mga parang ito yung mga expectations nila sa government na imi-meet nila during their term.
And also, I'd like to thank Comelec for doing yung last presidential elections na lahat ng kandidato, nilagay nila dun sa website nila or yung ginawa nilang website for the candidates para makita yung platforms nila. And it was a great time for me to see who will I vote for, and I think that's a great way na ginawa yun ng Comelec kasi hindi ko rin alam kung sino yung buboto this next senatorial elections, and I like that ba? Ganun. Nakita niyo ba?
Yeah. Wait lang, may question ako. Alam niyo ba yung debate nung past elections? Do you think that's an effective way para makita mo kung gaano ka-competent yung candidate? Regarding, syempre di ba pag-aanuhan nila yung mga society issues sa Philippines, pag-uusapan nila gano'n. What is your style being there?
So, wait. May pros and cons kasi yun. And yung pro nun is just to see kung for me, kung makikita mo kung under pressure yung isang candidate mo, paano niya yung sasagutin, paano niya masusolusyonan. Lalo na tayo sa Pilipinas, palagi tayong at state of emergencies. Lalo na yung nangyari nga last week or bahang buong Manila. And kakatapos lang yun ng SONA, and sabi nga sa SONA ni Mr. President is that okay naman yung natin in terms of disaster. But hey, nandito ako yung bagyo. Wala yan lahat. Parang erase yung projects nyo, yung pinaghandaan nyo. Wala. Parang ganun.
Isa sa mga purpose ng debate, but it's part of the campaign program. Gaya nga ng sabi, we are the employers, the politicians are the employees or applicants, and we are the employers. And basing from the, of course, di ba sa pag mag-apply ka ng work, you need to have to go through a job interview, and that's one way to look at it, na their debate would be like a job interview para sa kanila. And that's how maybe we could assess or come into a conclusion who to vote for. And yun, of course, titignan natin yung performance ng mga candidates. Pero yun, that's how we put people in position. That's one of the processes. Kasi yun nga, we are employers. We look for the best possible candidate or the best possible employee for that position. And of course, isa sa mga titignan natin, meron tayong resume, di ba? We have the resume ng pag-submit ka ng application letter. You need to have the letter of intent, your resume. Well, makikita natin yun sa mga programs ng mga candidates. We look at their programs, di ba? Meron yung pag nanalo sila, ganda yung kaya nilang gawin, their strengths, their weaknesses. Doon natin titignan yung parang ganun tayo, if we are the employers, if you are the boss of the company, hindi ba kikilatisin mo yun? Hindi ka lang magbe-base dun sa debate mismo, or hindi ka mag-base mismo dun sa job interview, but you will also base dun sa papers nila, di ba? You look at their papers and then you base on the job interview as well. That's how you would employ a person. Same din sa elections, that's how we would, yun, pinatisin natin, we need to ano bang English ng Pilates? Basta kailangan natin we need to thoroughly investigate, instigate the backgrounds of the candidates, what they have done, their educational backgrounds, as well as how they would perform in debate. All in all, their performance, that's how you would come into a conclusion. Hopefully, kung ganun yung process ng lahat, we would come up with siguro, not the best, but the probable candidate for president. And in line sa mga sinabi nyo, yes, balikan lang natin yung sinasabi nila kanina. In line sa mga sinasabi nila, yes, sabi nga ni ate na the youths are more progressive nowadays. Mas active sila sa participation politically, mas lalo na sa social media. And I guess, hindi na-mention, but that's one of the things na nakaka-influence sa mga young voters, which is yung social media platforms ng mga candidates. And yung mga social media ads, yung mga campaigns, di ba? Ang active ng mga young voters. And yun. Which is, it is a good sign sa culture ng Pilipinas. Do you think yung political activeness ng mga kabataan is good sa culture, sa political culture ng Philippines?
I think so, kasi nagbabago na. Parang platforms na yung tinitignan natin. And hindi na political families. Kasi sa wala talaga tayo sa talagang sila na lang palagi. But it lies on kung sino bang tatakbo. Kasi minsan rin, I remember this in the elections. May isa lang yung one, and I refuse to vote kahit isa lang yung na yun, kasi sawa lang talaga ako sa pangalan nila. And it's changing, it's a good change. And some people may not like it, but it's still that change.
I think yung activeness ng mga youth ngayon comes with awareness. Since namulat sila sa ganitong governance ng government, yeah, they are wanting the change para ma-improve yung way of living.
And also, yun yan. Isa sa mga problema siguro with that, yes, the young generations are active, they are politically inclined, but the problem is siguro yung mga candidates na, kasi most of them, if you are familiar with Draco politics, they practice those kinds of things na they would promise like this, they would promise that the economy would go up, they would promise to solve poverty, but once they win, wala na. And yeah, full of promises pero wala pa rin. So it doesn't, siguro, yes, it's a good thing na politically active ang mga kabataan, but everything falls down to the candidate na lang. Kasi it's up to him. He is already held accountable. He's accountable sa mga votes ng mga tao. And it's up to him whether or not to perform, to to him. And yun lang, pag hindi niya ginawa, of course, pero issue yung mga kabataan and yung mga, not only the kabataan, but yung mga susunod pang generation. And if that practice keeps lagi na lang na ganun yung cycle, na ganun na lang lagi, na promises, kung hindi promises, they would give incentives, di ba, yung mga nagbabayad. So, as I was saying a while ago, pag paulit-ulit na lang yung cycle ng politicians, it doesn't matter how much we, the voters, will change. Kahit na progressive tayo, kahit na politically active tayo, but if the leaders who are running for position do not change, same pa rin yung lagi na lang trapo, it still will be the same. Nothing will change in the governance of the Philippine government. Now, of course, we would say na politically active ang mga young voters, di ba? As mga interviews natin. Pero siyempre, meron pa rin talaga yung mga they are held back by stigma such as yung mga napo-force sila ng mga family members nila and yun, patronage, instances like that. Hindi lang yun, but alam namin na madami pa. But instances like that, of course, how would we encourage? That would be the question now. Even with the progressive movement of the youth, there are still some young people who are being held back by stereotypes, stigmas. How would we encourage those young people, those young voters, that they would be able to express themselves and vote wisely for any elections?
Para sa akin is, ang message ko lang is break the cycle. So, as an individual, you are entitled with your own decision. Yeah, you can consider yung options ng family nyo or yung community nyo, but you are still entitled with this right to vote with your own decision. I think parang mas kampante ka sa loob-loob mo kung yun yung sinunitan mo.
Everyone has the right to vote. It is a constitutional right to vote. And actually, the right to vote is tied to all the human rights. That's how you would practice all your human rights, because it is the start of practicing human rights. That is exercising your right to suffrage. And ano ba?
Go Ashley, go!
So, knowing your right to vote, parang yung sinabi nga niya, naka-inline na dun mga ibang human rights mo. So, do your own research. Tapos, parang yung sinabi kanina, kilatisin mo yung best candidate and huwag ka magpapadala sa mga sabi nila. And then, keep this in mind, promises are meant to be broken. Only the unpromised ones are meant to happen.
Okay. So, ayun. So, dagdag ko lang sa sinabi niya, when you do your own research, you do your research without bias. Pag mag-research ka, don't be biased. Of course, once again, kung ikaw yung employer, are you going to be biased unless kung makilala mo yung i-employ mo, di ba? But kung hindi mo makilala yung mga employer, yung i-employ mo, yung mga applicants, hindi ka magiging biased, di ba? You won't be biased towards them. You would all, kilatisin mo sila isa-isa without any bias. But I guess isa yun sa important na gawin when you're doing eyes. You just focus on what is presented to you. I guess doon mo mas ma-realize or doon ka mag-come up ng mas better or mas probable kung sino man yung susuko.
The greatest advice that I can give right now is I always give palagi kong nasa likod ng aking isip if you vote or do something every time if you vote or do something it has a weight on it kasi nga kapag bumoto ka nanalo yung binoto mo wala siyang nagawa ikaw yung may kasalanan doon palagi ikaw yung may kasalanan doon kasi binoto mo na hindi ka nag-research or something nagpadala ka sa magulang mo or sa kaibigan mo it's on you hindi kasalanan ng magulang mo hindi kasalanan ng kaibigan mo ikaw talaga yung nagdala mo kasi it's your vote it's your right nga di ba and hindi mo mapapalitan yung kanya yun kaya it's better to don't vote that or give it to the person that deserves it. Saka naman sa binoto siya. Pero few years or few months parang hindi naman talaga siya. Parang dapat nasa yung weight nung country na to. Yun dapat yung palagi mong inisip. It's because ikaw yung magpapabago sa country na to, hindi yung politician.
So yun, we are held accountable and liable for our decisions. Well, of course, the politicians who are voted into position are also accountable to us. But what's happening is we are accountable to our decisions. We are held liable towards our decisions. Tayo din ang makiperwiso, tayo din lang ang magbe-benefit, diba? So, ayun. Hopefully, with the end of our podcast, hopefully meron kayong natutunan, hopefully meron kayong insight kahit konti lang. Kung sino man nanonood dito, thank you for watching until the end. And once again, I'm with my babes saying goodbye.